Hello everyone, welcome again. In the previous video we learned how to create a cluster in a Kubernetes cluster, and we get an overview of Kubernetes and how to get benefits from it. So in this video we will know how to get authentication for this cluster, because we need to interact with this cluster. To authenticate the cluster we have to write this command line, which is gcloud container clusters get credentials, and then we have to write the name of our cluster, which is method. So method, and then click on enter. So as we can see, it is fetching our cluster endpoint and authentication data and kube config entry generated for this cluster. So now we have got our authentication credentials for this cluster. Now we have to deploy an application to this cluster. Once we created our cluster, we can deploy a containerized application to it. So now we will run a hello app in our cluster. Kubernetes engine use Kubernetes object to create and manage your cluster resources. Kubernetes provide the deployment object for deploying a stateless application like web server. So we have to run a command line in Cloud Shell to create a new deployment hello server from the hello app container image. Now we have an image in hello app to deploy our hello server from the hello app container image. To make this, we have to write this command line, which is kubectl, and it is stand for controlling Kubernetes clusters. Then click on create deployment, and this is the name of our server, which is hello server. And now we have to locate our container image from our hello app. So we have to specify a container image to deploy. Now we will write our GCR equal GCR, and it stands for Google Container Registry Packet. Then IO Google /samples /hello -app, and then we will write the version of this hello app. And if you didn't write the version, it will the latest one will be used. And now click on enter. And yes, as we can see, our deployment app hello server is created. Okay, so now we created a Kubernetes service, and a Kubernetes resources let you expose your application to external traffic. So we have to run another command to expose this deployment to an external traffic. So to do that, we have to write this command line, which is kubectl expose deployment hello server -- type equal load balancer -- port, and then 8080. Okay, now it's exposed. We exposed our server to an external IP. To inspect the hello service, we have to write this command line, and because we will need our external IP just to view our app. So to inspect the hello service, we have to write this command line, kubectl get service, and click on enter. And yes, as you can see, this is our name of our hello server, and the type is load balancer, and this is our cluster IP and external IP. We have to copy the external IP because we will need it to view our application from our web browser. So we will copy this external IP and open a new tab and copy this external IP. So as you can see, here is our application with hello world and the version of this application, and the host name is hello server. So now we have created a cluster and we get the authentication for this cluster. Then we deploy application from a server, and now we expose this deployment to a server. Then we view this application in a web browser using the external IP. So now this is all for this video. To delete our cluster, we have to write this command line: gcloud container clusters delete, and then the name of our cluster, which is Medhat, and click on enter. Okay, there is okay, I missed the G of cloud, so let's write it again: gcloud container clusters delete Medhat, and click on enter. And yes, as you can see, our cluster will be deleted. So do you want deleted? Yes, we will write Y and click on enter, and it is now deleting our cluster, which is Medhat. So we have just deployed a containerized application to Kubernetes engine, and in this video we learned how to create how to get authentication for a cluster and how to deploy an application to this cluster using the kubectl controlling Kubernetes cluster. And we learned how to expose deployment, which is hello server, to our port, and how to inspect the hello server using the get service command line. And we can view our application in a web browser using the external IP. Then we deleted our cluster, and that's all for this part of this video. See you again. Bye bye.